Hello and welcome. Today we've got John Baxter and we are going to be discussing plasma technologies and speaking to some Parkinson testimonials. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and John can choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. John, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Thanks, Nicholas. Well, we've been living the dream over here in so many certain terms. We're just, helping veterans, helping our community thrive with healing technology that's considered to be obsolete in so many certain terms as well, but is doing amazing things here.
Absolutely. Now, we know that plasma technology has been very well suppressed. Okay, this Tesla healing technology that we're aware of, because everything today and for God knows how long, all my life and probably all your life too, the narrative has always been about medicine. And, it keeps us continued customers back to big pharma. It keeps us being existing customers. Now, can you tell us why that is and why this technology is so important and valuable to humanity and why it's been suppressed to us? And just please consider certain buzzwords that YouTube doesn't like so we can keep this on YouTube.
Yeah. So when we think about when the Rockefellers took over the medical industry, right? This was essentially three different industries. There was the bioelectrical industry, which is the Tesla, the plasma technology we'll talk about. There was the bionutritional, right? Most medical doctors only got less than 4 hours. And with a medical doctor status, only 4 hours or less of nutrition. They don't know nutrition for a reason. The other thing is the biochemical revolution. These three were the Rockefellers' way to turn the world into their puppet, right? In a sense that the biochemical turned into the big pharma, petroleum-based. Now, petroleum plastics, we're ingesting petroleum-based products. We're using petroleum-based products on our fields as fertilizer. So petroleum has many different uses. They were able to create a monopoly in the big pharma sector and delete the other two, the bionutritional and the bioelectrical, which is the Tesla plasma. So this technology is well over 70 years old. And so there is a lot of studies that have been done on it. And that's how they found out the amazing effects of bioelectrical health, bioelectrical medicine. And it's been termed very different over the years. And this has been going on for a long time and much longer than just the 1900s, but even prior to that. One of our first times I've spoken to you, we talked about an electrician. An electrician used to be a doctor. We think of an electrician as the guy that fixes the wires and makes sure we can plug stuff in. But the original electrician, which was so-called a doctor, is a doctor. So yeah, and I didn't mention this, but I do have some people with me, and I've got Pam and back here using a body scanning technology. And I've got Mr. Garad here who has one amazing testimonial that we'll get into later. But I definitely wanted to get them knowing that they're sitting next to me, essentially.
Wow, amazing. So before we get into the testimonials, what I want to do is I want to discuss a little bit with you about what the health system is going to look like moving into the free world with these lovely technologies that have been suppressed to us. Then we will start with the testimonials and what they're using and their problems that they have physically and how it's helped them. And then we will go into the technologies themselves, and then you could educate us on those technologies. So if you could just tell us, what does the health system look like to you once everything's been exposed, all of the bad things that we've been taking for the last few decades and all of my life and your life probably, and probably a lot longer, and the new technology comes in and it's supposed to do things like take away the diseases completely. What do you think that would look like, and the centers and the world and the whole healthcare system?
Well, we're primed in the right place, at the right time in history. There's a collapse of the mainstream news media and the mainstream medical system. Lots of people are calling doctors that they had issues with, and those doctors are no longer available. So we've had a lot of, I'm only speaking in terms from what I'm hearing from people coming in here, their primary original types of doctors, they're calling them, and a lot of them are gone. They're obsolete. They are no longer in business. So there's a huge collapse in the medical, because, if you're a specific doctor, helping a specific disease, and no one has been getting good enough treatments, or they're sick, right? They're just sick at a level. They've tried everything. They've spoken to many different doctors, and they just don't trust the mainstream medical system because of the COVID, because of the PCR, all these things that are tranching onto our free and civil rights. Those things are coming to the forefront. So I see this collapse happening quickly, in the sense where, in a year from now, it may be a totally different conversation, that we're talking about the complete collapse. But, into the future, these types of technology, the Tesla technology that was pioneered by Nikola Tesla in its many different forms, right? Tesla plasma, Tesla multi-wave oscillator, Rife, all these different guys that were behind Tesla after his major inventions came to be, that our own health system, would be much different. If we start seeing a collapse of many doctors, maybe it's because they didn't really need them in the first place, right? If you had an issue and you were going to a certain doctor, maybe that issue was caused by the food that we're eating, and I see that being a huge benefactor if our farmers were not subsidized to the point where they were controlled by big pharma too, because big chemical, big pharma, it's all connected. If you get sick from the food you eat and you don't really realize it because it's subtle, that only props up a system that was a sick care system that was never truly meant to help you, but was meant to just treat you just above dead. I see those systems quickly going by the wayside, and it's just common sense. It's part of the Great Awakening. All these things are coming to fruition. So in the future, I see a different populace, one that the majority are so-called awake to the point where they know what's good for them. They know what's healthy. They realize their body can heal itself on their own for the majority. And not only that, they're not going to come with this victim mentality, hoping that the guy in the white jacket could actually give them something that they needed.
Absolutely, definitely. Why don't we go ahead with your testimonials and we could speak to them one by one? I believe you have two. Let's go over to Payne. I believe her name is Payne, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Pam. We got
Pam. Sorry, Pam.
Body. Yeah, Pam showed up today from Chicago, and so she's just gotten here a couple hours ago. She's a fan of yours, by the way.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know I'd be on TV, but I also have a couple other comments too, listening to how you're talking about the medical profession and how things were treated. So before we get to why I was here today, 15 years ago, I had ovarian cancer, and that's a really difficult cancer to cure. It's about a 45% survival rate. And I'm here talking to you. This is because I went through the protocols with the surgery and the chemo and all that stuff. But since then, I've had, very difficult digestive system issues, breathing issues, all the things that the chemo really damaged in your system. It keeps you alive, but, it doesn't, your system is not the same moving forward. And even, in COVID, like those kind of doctors, like you're saying, they don't answer the calls, et cetera. I have trouble breathing. So it was impossible for me to get a mask waiver in Illinois because all of the doctors could lose their license if they signed off on a form that said, they could see my paperwork there that my normal breathing is, 93% oxygen. So, just the things that they helped me to get over the cancer, but then they weren't there for me afterwards when something else came along. So the reason I'm here today is that so I did get COVID when it first came here, like in December 2019. And ever since, like a couple months later, I developed Hashimoto's, which is like an autoimmune disorder where I started losing my hair and I gained probably 20 pounds. I was normally a pretty thin person, not to say I'm heavy right now, but I mean, it's just something that I can't do anything about it. And so I just thought, this could be if you talk to somebody about Hashimoto's and they look at your thyroid, they do these blood tests and they just say, well, we just will let your thyroid fail. And then when it happens, then we'll put you on some medicine. Well, that just isn't really a good answer for me. I don't want to just walk around for a year or two just waiting till my thyroid fails. I just doesn't seem like that's the right solution. So that's kind of why I was here to just test out a different technology, because I know Lyme disease is very similar autoimmune to Hashimoto, and I know that they had some kind of protocol here to look at that. So
how long have you been using this technology for?
I just came in today. So we'll kind of see. I feel like there's got to be a better solution out there than just this one prescription that you can't take until it fails. So.
Absolutely. Well, Pam, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Sure.
Thank you, and it's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
John? Yeah. Pam, she showed up today. It's just sometimes when we like to get a different opinion, just showing up that might be skeptical. Maybe we can follow up with her later just to see, because the things that we're seeing, Nicholas, some of the things that people are not going to believe. And I don't even like telling people certain things when it seems like it could be a far-fetched. But our next testimonial, Mr. Garad.
Mr. Garad.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How about you?
I'm very good. Thank you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey with using this technology and how it's helped you and your current situation, please?
Yes, sir. It started with about 42. I was 42 years old when I developed what they said was Parkinson's or a brain tumor. And so I went home to my wife and I said, I got to go get some options here and look and see what's happening. And so we went, and 3 doctors said I had Parkinson's. 1 doctor said I had this. And then after 20 years of being taken care of by your neurologist, who's a research scientist, and the only person that found out what I had really was Rocky Mountain spotted fever, was a infectious disease doctor who was above reproach. He was a great volunteer and a great man for going to Africa and going to all these foreign countries, take 20 nurses with him and whatnot. And he literally saved my life. I was laying in his driveway at his office, waiting for a wheelchair to pick me up, to put me on IV bags for 90 days every morning at 7 o'clock in his office. And so he says, well, what you have, you need to check this every year, make sure it hasn't morphed and come back and got you. So I went from Parkinson's to Lyme's disease, which is from a tick, just similar to Rocky Mountain spotted fever. It's a tick-borne bacteria, and the neurological effects are similar as with Parkinson's. So they just left it at Parkinson's. But I'm eating 1,000 milligrams of dopamine a day, which means my body can't move food through this digestive tract. They give you the nuclear test. They run food through and see how long it takes you to get the process started and finished. And so my wife just kept being persistent. And she said, she came up here and she had her checkbook or cash pocketbook with her. So that was the end of that. So I let her have at it. And she's taken care of her family and her father and people. And the technology has just been phenomenal. I was telling Mr. Baxter, I get out of my car outside and I can feel the energy coming out the doors and windows. And it's really, I'm either hypersensitive or whatnot, but I feel it when I get here, and everything about me just changes and becomes super positive, the attitude has everything to do with the result. And it is in anything. The result can be factually based, but if the attitude's there and you really feel it and really believe it, you can accentuate that by double or triple. So I have a young lady who helps me as my daycare provider. And she said, "Man, Mr. Garrett, you're walking real well today." I said, "I feel good today." I said, and then I've been able to run. I haven't been able to run and play football or do anything with my grandchildren in a long time. So now I can get out and run. I have 80 acres out in the country. I love the woods. So we go fishing and stuff like that and enjoying life. But the technology has been phenomenal. It's, I'm trying to buy everything he has here. If he can get it in time, he's so backed up and booked up that I think he's going to be finding out that he's going to be inundated and supply and demand. I know that all that stuff ain't out there on the boat, is it? Waiting to be delivered. So anyway, I just want to say I've got the best help I've ever received, and no medicine, no nothing. I'm trying to cut out all my medicines, watch what I eat, going to a high food diet in the morning and stuff like that. But I can't thank them enough. Everybody here is so nice. They're so complimentary. They acknowledge you and they treat you well. And I couldn't have come to a better place if I'd have found them. I'd have never known it. So it's been wonderful. I've been here about 2 weeks now, and I drive 4 hours here, 4 hours back. I'm gonna have to see if you'll rent me an apartment or something down here. I can stay down here and hang out for a while. I got to learn more about this. I'm 65 years old, and I'd like to get another 20 or 30 in there. So,
wow. Well, Mr. Garrard, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I wish you the very best. And hopefully, your conditions will, improve.
Yes,
and your quality of lifestyle will improve as well.
Yes.
And thank you so much for sharing that with us. John, could you explain to us a little bit more about the technology that Mr. Garrard is using and how you think it's helped him?
Yeah, so he used the Tesla plasma machine. He's used a couple of the others, the oxygen chamber. He used the Tesla multi-wave oscillator. In a previous show, these are the new technologies out there. Mr. Garrard, this is the one of the most amazing things you'll ever hear. So since 2008, he was essentially his story diagnosed with Parkinson's. So since 2008, he really wasn't walking very well. Crutches and wheelchair, basically. His wife fought everyone to come see me. All of her friends, family told her she was crazy. Mr. Garrard, he's a guy that money really is an option for him. He can try anything, literally, and he hasn't been able to find a solution. And even though his wife thought that this would be it, she found us through one of your videos, and essentially, she finally made it here. And guess what? She left with tears of joy, both of them. Within a 4-hour period of being on the Tesla plasma, mainly, along with some of the others, he actually walked out of here. He walked out of here. Since 2008, if you can imagine, it was a double take, a triple take. He walked out of here, and then he even ran out of here. So That's how backed up he was thinking.
Wow. So you've had Mr. Grad for quite a number of years.
No, basically, I just met him basically less than 2 weeks, but his first session, he wasn't able to walk. And within 4 hours of that first session, he was walking.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing.
So, yeah, and now running, and he can walk back and forth. You want to walk back and forth in here just to show? I mean, look at his legs. I mean, he wasn't able to do any of this.
And you're saying that just in 4 weeks, this plasma technology has helped him walk now and even possibly run, you're saying?
4 hours.
4 hours.
4
Oh,
hours.
sorry. Not 4 weeks, 4 hours. Excuse me.
Can you imagine a guy that comes in he's got a person holding them, he can maybe stand up but not walk, really lean. And
okay, let's talk about the technology exactly. What is it in the technology that you think that has enabled him to walk within 4 hours? What has it done to the cells?
Yeah, so basically, when I heard him say Parkinson's, I ran right toward Lyme without a question, right? That was my primary understanding for doing this so long. I hear certain things, and unless you work with people very closely, I love what I do. I want to find every nick and cranny of everything. So he told me that. I said, just looking him up and down, I said, we're just going to run at Lyme's disease. So I ran 3 different Lyme's disease protocols. One was to address the hatchlings. So in the nervous system, the Lyme, which is a bacteria, will lay eggs. It lays eggs. So if you kill the bacteria, right, it's not good enough because the hatchlings will pop open and you'll have more bacteria. So the first thing we addressed was killing the hatchlings, the eggs, right? And then it was a 3.5 hour session. Right after that hour-long session, we did a Lyme disease A, which addresses certain bacteria in the Lyme field spectrum. And then that was about another hour, a little over an hour. And then we did a Lyme disease B, which cuts a little bit more of a different strain, which some of it is the Rocky Mountain, disease, bacteria. And so we hit that really hard. And, halfway through, I was thinking that he's going to have a pretty good result. But when he got up after 3.5 hours in that bed right there, literally with that machine right here with the purple light, he got up. He walked around like it was like just like like if you had a VHS when he was like 40 years old, he was doing kicks in the air. I was just like, please don't do that. Don't fall down, don't run. And then he said, I'm going to run. He ran and stopped on a dime. And I was like, another one, I was like, it was a good and it was just a wow moment.
Wow,
So,
that's you're performing miracles. This is wonderful, and this is something that our current health system is not doing, and they're just, taking us out very slowly with their supplements, where we need to bring in this technology that's been suppressed. So it's fantastic. John, why don't we move on to you demonstrating and showing us some of those technologies?
Yeah, so on the Tesla plasma, basically, I have it right here, the different Lyme sets at the very top there, basically, and these are different frequencies. So a long time ago, they took different things, like even, you can label that many different things. What I understand it as is bacterial pneumonia, all the phlegm and hard to breathe stuff. So that's labeled that frequency in this book. So basically what it's doing is it's pinpointing different frequencies. I've got other machines that do a wide array, but this machine does a specific frequency, and it actually breaks through the cellular structure to the point where it spins the opposite direction. So if one of these bacteria grabs on, or a fungus, so the 4 that we address, right? And I feel like I'm a parasite killer, but parasite, fungus, bacteria, and mold. When you look at the different diseases and you address those diseases by taking out and trying to, extract these different things, parasite, mold, fungus, bacteria. If you can get rid of these, you get your life back. And so basically, what we did with him, he's got in one day, he was walking, which was amazing. He still has a road to go. He's still got a little bit more of a road to recovery to get all the way back. But, basically each time he comes in here, we address the same thing and we knock it back. We knock it back further and we keep going. So, I see him having major changes every time he comes in.
That's amazing. It's really good. Do you have any technologies there that you'd like to show us?
Well, the foundation is always the bed cover. We've seen this before. Okay. We've got the bed cover that goes around the mattress. We tried to be very, just like your colors, Nick, it looks like, but the red and the blue, very much a patriotic color. But the cover goes around. Of course, we've got our Tesla plasma back there. We've got our body scanning massage chair that Pam just tried. How was it?
Oh, good. I mean, it goes from your fingertips to your toes. I mean, everything is going through your whole body, and especially it's kind of aggressive, like on your feet. I was questioning like what it does there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, even these the massage on the feet and the hands, our nerve endings stop and begin in our hands. We receive, the different stimuli, and basically on your hands and your feet are different acupressure points that open up and awaken, organs and other things to perform better. So the body scanning massage chair has just a lot of good things. We got far infrared grounding. The thing up there is an EMF shielding canopy. You're talking, breaking up the stagnation. Mm-hmm. So before, Pam gets into a lot of the other technology, we put her in the massage chair to relax her, because once she's relaxed, she's going to be more capable, more willing, and just letting go. Some of this technology, you really got to let go. And, that's really important.
Absolutely. Well, John Baxter, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'd happily leave the link below so that people can contact you if they wish to learn more about the Tesla healing technologies and plasma technologies. And even those medical health professionals who are wanting to create a new system for the free world of suppressed technologies that need to be introduced to humanity. I think this would be a great opportunity to connect with you guys and, make something big out of this. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish, John?
Yeah, I'd like to say that, we're leading this movement. If you go online and you search a lot of this stuff, we're actually leading this movement. We have so many people involved at this point. It's spreading like wildfire across the country. If you wanted to get involved, of course, there's a link below. We're pulling everyone together. We're pulling all of our resources. We're doing this with the right intentions for the right reasons. And even back in 2010, you can see that I was talking about healing humanity. So my own pain of purpose story, God showed me the light a long time ago. I'm still following through without a shadow of a doubt. This has been my focus. So, it's a great thing. And I'm here to share all this stuff with everyone. So if it's free for everyone.
John, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. I can't wait to use them myself. And we'll speak again very soon. God bless you. And I'd love to know more later how your patients, if you like, are progressing. Okay. So you take care and we'll speak very soon. Bye-bye.